James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself. She said this morning that the numbers don't lie and they won't lie in this case. Well, Miss James, I have a message for you. The numbers didn't lie when you ran for governor, and that's why you dropped out. And the numbers don't lie when President Trump runs for office in 2024. And those numbers are loud and clear. This country is falling apart. And if we don't stop corruption in courtrooms where attorneys are gagged, where attorneys are not allowed to say what they need to say to protect their clients' interests, it doesn't matter what your politics are. Everyone has a right in this country to get up and put a defense. And what I'm seeing is such a demise of American judicial system and democracy. Miss James came out this morning and said that she knew Mr. Trump, and she always calls him Mr. Trump because it kills her that he was the president. But the 45th president of this country, one of the best presidents we've had, has built a great company. It's worth a ton more than that statement of financial condition. And she doesn't know how to get out of it because her politics won't allow her. She calls him a bully. She says he's going to bring out racial slurs. He's going to say things today and taunt her. Well, Miss James, you taunted him. Before you came into office, before you saw one record, one statement of financial condition, you taunted him. You said his administration was too male and too pale. Those are her words. She said that she and Michael Cohen were going to be his biggest nightmare. Well, I have some news for you, Miss James. Michael Cohen folded, lied, and crumbled. Your star witness, along with all the DAs and corrupt AGs, need to be paying attention to what happens when you let us take the stand, when you let my client speak the truth.
Former President Donald Trump has posted that $175 million bond for his New York City civil fraud case. Now AG Letitia James says the agency that wrote the bond for Trump is not qualified to do so. So she's reportedly beginning the process of claiming Trump's properties. Is this ever going to end?
Well, I'm going to call this an administrative or bureaucratic technicality that's going to have to be worked out. It does appear as though the bond company doesn't have all of the requirements necessary in terms of what they provide to the state of New York. I believe that's something they're going to be able to work out. If not,
forgive me for interrupting.
Sure.
It's not that they don't have the money, though, right?
Right. Well, it's not just the money. It's additional money on top of it as the surety for that money. So there has to be certain requirements that are satisfied in the state of New York. I believe this company comes out of California. I think that as they work that out, the court is going to have tolerance for Donald Trump working that out to make sure that that's done appropriately. I don't see a building getting seized in the meantime.
Now, we can't dismiss egos in all this because Letitia James ran on the basis of her going after Trump. She said she was going to pursue him until she got him in jail, etc. She lost hugely with that appeals court that reduced that initial fine that the judge who was working with her pulled out of the air, $454 million, reduced it by about 2/3. Is this her way of getting some kind of payback after that loss?
Well, I think that took the wind out of her sails. You know, it seems as though she's desperate to move into one of these buildings. Maybe she should just fill out an application for rent in one of those buildings. But she wants in, and I think she wants to be able to get that victory before the election. It's going to be very difficult for her to do so because I think the appellate court is going to take its time, and they're going to have to go through all of these calculations. This is a huge case for them to get a decision before the election.
So the same appellate court that handed her a defeat in terms of bringing down that bond so much is now going to be deciding on this issue of whether the bond agency can be used.
Well, I believe the bond issue is actually going down to the trial court level.
Okay.
That's a technicality that I'd have to dig a little deeper into. But that's an initial issue. Ultimately, the appellate court's going to be deciding the big issues. And that's what Donald Trump's team has already gone to the appellate court with. They've already filed papers that suggest that there are very strong arguments on many issues, to include the calculation of the damages, if not the actual findings by the court in the first place.